Support Wrestle Talk!
It's time to give some predictions for the Netflix debut of Monday Night Raw. I'm Luca and DAD. I'm joined by your Jam That Champion, Oliver Davis, who said to me 3 times before we started recording, I'm the champion.
I'm the champion. I'm the champion. I'm the champion. Ba-dum.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Netflix.
The jam.
Jam.
Yeah, we're going to give some predictions for the debut episode of Netflix, Raw on Netflix. Have you had a look at the Raw lineup or like the WWE lineup on Netflix?
Yeah, every time I open Netflix to go watch Squid Game or what else do I watch on Netflix? Queer Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Finished that over the Christmas period.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was life-affirming in many ways.
It always is.
It opens up with, on the login screen, it's like, boom, here's Raw.
Yeah.
And it's got like Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso with his silly glasses. I think there's Rhea Ripley, I think on there as well.
I see.
And then, you go on to Netflix and it has SmackDown coming Friday. This coming this day.
That's it, because we're actually getting the Netflix debut before the US are, because we're getting SmackDown on Netflix this coming Friday.
Yeah, but it's not going to be like a big show. That'll be next week's big show. Also, you can watch the big show.
Yeah, well, because that was a Netflix
But no, the Big Show show.
Yeah, the Big Show.
The Big Show's
show
sitcom.
Yes.
Which was called The Big Show Show.
That's correct, yeah.
Which is excellent.
And also, if you search for WWE Fighting With My Family, will come up as well, because they feature within the movie. And the Vince McMahon documentary series, which I think they're probably not trying to put too much emphasis on once Raw starts showing up on Netflix. Although it is, when you look at the availability of what's on there, there's a lot of the Triple H era of just like, this is where we've hit our reset point. This is our new 52. And sure, you can go into the archives and watch some of the old stuff, but really you just want to start with this new 52 here.
Yeah, which I don't mourn, I must be honest. I'm not pining for 2019 WWE.
That is balderdash, because you have pitched to me several times, we should watch 2019 Raw for
We should do it, though. We should do it. Dog food, all the nonsense.
But you're right. Like, if I'm going to... I think the thing I'm going to miss about not having the network is if I just wake up on a Sunday morning and I'm just like, I'm going to watch Fall Brawl 98. It's just there.
Yeah.
I can just go there and it's just nice and easy. But now some pay-per-views aren't on there, like, that I want to watch. But for the most part, I think all of the good stuff is on there.
My go-to thing, if I'm tired, I'll go home, I'll buy a pizza, stuffed crust co-op margarita. If co-op stuffed crust margarita pizzas want to sponsor us in any way, please get in contact.
Just that pizza.
Just that pizza. Oh, it's actually the double pepperoni. Yes, but like same branding, not got time for the chicken one. But the double pepperoni stuffed crust, please do. I'll buy one of those, just big dollop of mayonnaise, and then wrestling documentary.
Yeah,
and it's either the rise and fall of ECW,
so always your go-to.
The rise and fall of WCW.
Yeah.
I was watching World Class Championship Wrestling as well. Those are my favourites to do.
I think those are now mostly on the WWE Vault.
Oh, okay.
YouTube, because I think they just loaded up the Life and Times of Mr. Perfect, like that old documentary.
Yes.
And the Paul Heyman documentary, I think, is on there as
CM
well.
Punk documentary is excellent.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's like so WWE Vault it's a brilliant YouTube channel, because it is kind of it was just being like, hey, here's a wacky thing that you've never really seen. Here's a Tajiri match from a house show in Japan that you probably haven't seen before. It's him versus Triple H. But then they was like, hey, what do you want to see? The replies on some of the tweets is like, oh, can you upload this Randy Orton match from 2008? It's like, why? A, it's on the network or it's on Peacock. You can find that one really easily.
Just watch any of the other Randy Orton matches from 2008 through to about 2020. You'll get the same experience.
It'll be fine. But yeah, I think the Vault channel is awesome, and I'm hoping to get more documentaries on it. But we're not here to talk about the WWE Vault or even the archive that's on Netflix. We're here to talk about the debut episode of Raw on Netflix. We have got 4 matches announced for it at the time of this recording. Hopefully they won't announce anything on SmackDown, so when this goes out,
Yeah.
will be okay, and this won't feel too dated.
You reckon 3 hours as well? They've not.
Yeah.
There's been the report that SmackDown's going to go to 3 hours. Of course, that's on USA Network. That's a like-for-like switch because Raw was 3 hours. But then it went down to 2 hours.
So
for 4 glorious months.
I believe the writing on the wall is it is a 3 hour block, and if they can go to 3 hours if they want, but they don't need to go to 3 hours.
On USA Network or Netflix?
On Netflix.
Okay.
The idea is that a 3 hour block is booked out, but that doesn't mean it will be a 3 hour show. It means it's up to a 3 hour show.
Well, Netflix don't have anything on afterwards.
Well, exactly. It's not like they always say about speed limits is that it's not a target, it's a limit. That is what the 3 hours is. The limit is 3 hours.
The limit's 65.
The limit is 3 hours.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean the target is 3 hours. It could be 2 hours 15. But you're right. Like it's not like they've got the news that they need to cut to afterwards.
Yeah. But at any point, you could just watch another show. I guess at any point, you can watch another channel. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how Netflix talks about the success of the show.
Minutes watched.
Whether it's minutes watched, whether it's an impressive enough number to say actual viewers.
Here's my guess. It'll be either minutes watched, if The Rock has got anything to do with it.
Multiple verticals.
Or it'll be whatever the largest concurrent number is at any one time. So if like at any point 8 million people are watching, that is the number they'll give.
Yeah.
8 million people watched Raw at the same time.
They'll probably link it to the segment as well. Like, oh my God, 8 million people watched Roman Reigns beat Solo Sikoa. Spoiler for my predictions.
I don't think anyone's predicting Solo Sikoa to win this match.
Well, actually, should we get into that? Because now I've said that out loud, maybe I don't fully agree.
So here, we're going to go through the 4 matches, and we'll go through some other things that we think might happen across the show. But one of our opening contests that we've got is Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. It is tribal combat for the Ula Fala and recognition as the tribal chief. This, for me, is the ending of this Roman Reigns Solo Sikoa feud. This is the end point of this. So let's finish this here. Roman beats Solo, gets back the Ula Fala, becomes the tribal chief again, and that can then set Roman up now free for the next few months to work out what his WrestleMania program is, CM Punk.
So what you're saying is the Netflix Raw is actually a bit of 2025 admin to get CM Punk out of the Rollins feud and Roman Reigns out of the Solo Sikoa feud, which were originally planned for Mania. And then, then Punk can face Roman at the main event of WrestleMania for the
tribal chief. Well, okay, so I'm going with Roman Reigns to win here.
Yeah.
I've got this gut feeling that it is Roman Punk at WrestleMania, and if I am like big brain thinking this, and I've been kind of towing this line for a little while now, is Punk beats Gunther for the world title, and it's Roman versus Punk for the world title at WrestleMania. Or if it's not Punk and Roman, then I can definitely see a worldview. My wife's least favorite term when she watched episodes of Blood on the Clock Tower is it's a 3-way at Mania, and it's Punk, Rollins, and McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Wow, that's big.
Those are my two. Because every time I think of like what's Drew going to do, like no one's really got an answer for what Drew is. So I think you could do the 3-way of Punk, Rollins, and Drew for the world title at WrestleMania.
I think we've got to talk about The Rock. Dwayne Johnson. And
I think my 2 ideas really does depend on whether or not The Rock can truly convince people the Red One was a success.
Wow. Isn't it a more compelling argument if he can go, and just 3 weeks later, I gave Netflix WWE's launch this high number.
This high vertical.
Because he will be in the most watched segment.
I would say...
You presume so.
And I would imagine, because he's not announced for it, The Rock will be on this episode. I would have thought he's on this episode. I think him, Cena, Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes... I think this is going to be the most star-studded Raw probably in the history of the program.
And what's the Rock? Is it Red Notice?
Red One.
Red? No.
Oh,
with the egg.
Yeah,
with the egg.
The golden egg. The Netflix movie, yes, it was Red Notice.
I never thought about that before. That he's creating some kind of red universe. Monday Night Raw is also red.
The RCU.
And then at the end of Monday Night Raw, on the debut episode on Netflix, The Rock will look into the camera and go, Now watch Red Notice, bitch.
Or this is actually now Monday Night Red.
Yeah, Monday Night Red Notice. And Ryan Reynolds will come in and Gal Gadot. Yeah,
and
synergy,
the other stars of
synergy.
So, okay, but you said that you thought Roman Reigns was going to win this match, but then did you start to talk yourself out of it? What are your vibes for Roman going into Mania?
You know what? I think Roman should win the Solo Sikoa feud.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But do I think Roman should have the Ula Fala back? Yes, I do. But The Rock and Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
So I really like what Solo's done in the last 4 months.
Me too.
I wish he would have been booked a bit stronger, get some more wins on pay-per-view and stuff. But he has pinned Roman in that tag or the three-way.
In the trios. And you got the win over Cody because that set up the SummerSlam match as well.
Yeah.
So he's been given wins, but it's not... I would
he's
say...
not seen as a credible threat most of the time. Jacob Fatu is.
I would agree. I don't think he has felt like the top heel of SmackDown, even though he's presented as the top heel of SmackDown.
Cena's going to walk into Monday Night Raw and go, oh my God, guys, this Solo Sikoa guy's really dangerous. He killed me with 6 consecutive Samoan spikes.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be like, dude.
Come on now.
Did you watch last year? He's a comedy guy.
He's a comedy guy now.
And he's going to marry Ava Raine. The bloodline dynasty grows. You know what? Do you want to put this on the line?
Oh, hey. Well, I mean, that's more of a question for you than anything else.
It's red. Well, actually, it's a question for you. Because you can challenge me whenever you want.
So are you thinking, if you pick Solo Sikoa... Wave it in my face. Roman Reigns would do.
Are you going to chicken?
Well, bearing in mind, I've already got one stake to that title from our 2025 predictions video as well. One when Kevin Owens signs with AEW, that belt's coming right home to me.
Specifically on this match, if you're going Roman Reigns to win, I'm going Solo Sikoa.
Great.
Because of Rock involvement. And that is for the championship.
Do I get my 10 quid as well?
Let's see on the 10 quid. Genuinely don't know where an ATM is.
There's one across the road. You got to pay
I've not seen it.
Got to pay £1.50 to use it, but it is there. Up next for the Women's World Championship in a last woman standing match, it's Liv Morgan losing her title to Rhea Ripley. That is my official prediction here. Rhea Ripley wins this belt, ends this bloody... It's all about 2025 admin. Correct. Let's hit the end button on this one now. Let's kill this feud dead.
Yeah, we don't need to talk for a while about this one. I agree. I also watched a Tickety Talk the other day where it was wrestlers talking about their 2025 goals. And Liv, she's walking along and saying, main goal to be the reigning champion for the whole year again, become a double champ with Raquel Rodriguez. I was like, that one. Okay, you can lose the singles title, and you can become a champion with Raquel Rodriguez, win the tag belts.
Totally fine.
Yeah. So I agree with Rhea beating Liv. Big moment. She's one of the top stars. People will go crazy for that.
People love Rhea Ripley.
I love Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I also believe as well, and I believe some of this is anecdotal evidence, but I think there are probably social trends that will back this up. She is one of the more recognized, if you put her on a poster or something, or people recognize her because she's such an incredibly visually striking character. Yeah. So you should put the belt on her. She is the most over star that they have in that division. She should be the champion.
People who are friends of mine who do not watch wrestling but are starting to feel something in the water with the Netflix adverts and stuff, they talk to me sometimes about Rhea Ripley, about that tattooed woman, they say.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They saw a video where she twerked on a Christmas Day show.
Mm-hmm. And that's the one they were like, hey, what's this wrestling that you talk about?
Hey, I'm interested now. When's it on? The 6th! When can I watch more right now? Do I need a VPN?
I would say Rhea Ripley wins here. Here's my first prediction for a segment on the show. I thought of this just before we started recording. Rhea wins the belt. Music's playing. She's standing there in the ring.
As the opener?
No, like so Rhea wins the match.
Okay.
I don't know if this is where it
Sure.
Rhea wins the match. She's posing with the belt. Whoa. Becky Lynch comes out. They have a stare off. And you're like, oh man, that's a big match. Then dun, Charlotte Flair comes out and they have the stare off. And then
more.
Light it up. AJ Lee returns to WWE and the four of them stand in the ring. The past, present, and the future of this women's division. And that sets up, basically announces Becky, Charlotte, and AJ for the Rumble.
Holy moly. And there is a bit of a parallel with the other big match on this episode. Because imagine if you've got AJ Lee and Becky Lynch in the ring, and on that go-home promo for the next week's Raw that Seth Rollins and CM Punk had. CM Punk talked about being accused of taking his ball and going home. Did the man take the ball and go home? No. So he has referenced Becky Lynch, and Seth Rollins in turn, weirdly, slagged off Punk for not having kids. I love that. I love the segment. Yeah. I thought that was a weird.
Yeah.
But the way he delivered it, I was like, yeah, screw you. I've not got kids. I'm like, screw you, Punk. You selfish dick. But that is, of course, a Punk AJ Lee thing.
That's right. So what you're advocating for then is to do a series of mixed gender tag matches.
Yes. Yep. Bring it back. Mixed match challenge.
I've got no real true belief that AJ Lee is coming back. But if I'm going to put out some wild and wacky predictions, I'm going to fancy book. That's the segment I'm fancy booking in that order as well.
And if Roman and Solo is the opener, you win this belt. However, if that
right, let's not over-egg this pudding.
If the four-way doesn't happen,
I didn't say it was a four-way.
I win it. If the four-way segment doesn't happen, I win it back.
I don't think I'm not putting that on the line.
It's not up to you. I've challenged you.
Then we have got Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Drew's got to get these wins. It's a great heel character that he's got. That's now, I'm still advocating that this is expanding out into a sword faction of him, Seth, and KO, a anti-Cody, Punk, Roman alliance. And Jey is a good bit of fodder because turns out you can beat him like a drum and it's okay.
He will stay over.
Yeet.
Yeah, the entrance will certainly stay over, and he himself with his glasses will too. When it was Drew versus Sammy and they did the two matches, I was like, yeah, Drew wins. Like it's quite because Sammy's one of those guys you can beat him like a drum and it's usually fine. But then Jey comes and I'm like, oh, do I want to beat Jey though? Because he's so over.
That is a question that has never been asked in a WWE creative meeting.
Can we beat Jey?
Yeah. Yeah, we can. And we will do all the time.
A lot, in fact. I am going to go with Drew to win here, though. Because I think you're right. I think it means more for Drew's character to have beaten Sammy and beaten Jey as well.
Oh, now what I love about WWE writing at the moment is how interconnected the men's division feels at that top area. So you've got Roman and Solo, but that sort of feels connected to Punk Rollins because the Punk favor with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, whatever that is. And then definitely the Punk Rollins stuff is connected to the Drew Jey match because Drew hates Punk. He might side with Seth. And Jey is also in cahoots with Roman again. Going back to this, it's
really good.
Really, really well fleshed out divisions for the men.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that was my clumsy segue to go into Seth versus Punk.
So I was going to try and segue into this match as well because I'm going with a Drew retention. Sorry, Drew retention. Drew retains his beating of Punk friends.
Yes.
I am going to go with Punk to beat Rollins as well. I mean, for starters, I think Punk should beat Rollins. I really do think the Punk should win this match.
What if Drew costs Punk and then that's Seth looking at him like...
Well, that's what I was going to come to is Seth can use the loss as motivation to start to maybe see that Drew's got a point and maybe that can sort of motivate him to go towards this sword alliance.
I might have fantasy booked it.
Go for it. Okay, hit me.
Drew costs Punk. Drew, Seth become Sword at Elimination Chamber in Toronto. It is Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And then CM Punk and Roman Reigns is your Mania match.
That is a good way to get to the Punk-Roman match.
Does Punk call in the favor from Heyman for Roman to team with him against Seth and Drew?
That cannot be Punk's favor. If that's Punk's favor,
I don't like that either.
He's a moron if that's his favor. Or can you ask your mate to be in a tag match with me? He's a dick if he chooses that.
That's what we think is the favor, but the actual favor is Heyman turning on Roman at the end of that tag match.
I think Punk's kind of laid out what the favor is in that promo he had on Raw, where he was like, look, I can now just get a title match. I don't have to go into the Royal Rumble. I don't have to go into the Elimination Chamber to get to my WrestleMania main event. I've got a favor from Paul Heyman. And then Rollins comes out and he's like, it's got nothing to do with you. You don't have anything I want anymore. What Punk wants is a world title, and the favor is from Heyman to get him a world title match.
Yeah, okay. So and that's either against Cody or Gunther at the moment.
I think
so. In that way, you'd have Gunther be beaten by Roman.
Well, you could do Punk and Gunther at Elimination Chamber, and maybe that's how you get to Punk and Roman. Or I don't know.
Okay, so are you saying Punk wins against Seth though? Are we going too far down the fantasy?
Yeah. Let's get back to this, because I was so sure in myself when I said I think Punk should win this, but I actually think character-wise it makes more sense for Seth to win, and storyline-wise, particularly if you are going with this Drew alliance, that Seth beating Punk would be a bigger deal. I just got this feeling in my gut that Punk's winning.
If Punk is going to main event WrestleMania,
he should win.
I don't think they're beating him, unless it's a Mania match against Seth.
Unless it is the triple threat and it's Punk, Drew, and Seth, or if it's just Punk and Seth, which I think I said way back when I was like, I think that might be one of the WrestleMania directions, because that's the direction we were supposed to get this year.
It's tough. I think with Roman winning, which I think I would put that as my main event if The Rock's coming back. Oh, but if The Rock comes back, Solo's winning in my head. God damn it!
Or is Rock coming back in the Cody segment?
Okay. So you could have Roman win to close the show. Cody and Rock happens at whatever point in the middle of the show.
Yep.
Seth Punk opens the show.
I was about to say I would have had the women. I would have had the women's match open the show, because not only you open the show on a big gimmick match, it's a title match, and you're likely going to do a title change. Mm-hmm. I would open with the women's match.
Perfect. 1 hour 15. 1 hour 15 into the show.
That's relying on people sticking around for that hour 15. With this Netflix thing. There are bearing in mind, Netflix, the writer's been talking about this quite openly. There's this idea of second screen watching is a big Netflix thing of don't write scripts that are too complicated, because you need to have scripts that people can follow if they're not actually watching the show and they're looking at their phone. One of the other things that apparently writers have been told is that you need to make sure every actor, every character is announcing what they're doing, because if you're not in the room, you can still follow along with the show. So Netflix does not trust its audience to stick around for an hour and 15 minutes together. I think you need to hit them big and hard and fast with a title change in a big gimmick match.
Well, you definitely want to hit them big, hard, and fast. Because that's a thing about how Amazon movies scripts are written now.
Yes.
Start with an action scene.
Yeah.
Because algorithmically, we know. I started watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Starts with a really tense action scene, sniper, boom. I mean, this was a good way to start the show.
Yeah.
But would I have started the show like this if an algorithm didn't say,
Dexter Fletcher said this about that Chris Evans action movie that he did. Like, there wasn't supposed to be an action sequence for the first 45 minutes of the movie. And then when they finished the film, and everyone's like, whoa, what's this boring talking at the start? Action, action, action. So they had to go back and film an action scene to put at the start.
Okay. What are we predicting?
Seth versus Punk.
Is our new predictions challenge an accurate format sheet for the show? And I think that Dominic's going to get a 3-minute backstage promo in the second half hour.
Like, if Raw is as templated in Netflix it is, they will be in the second segment in the Judgment Den, and they will be standing in a line.
I mean, to go away from the Seth Punk prediction, do you think there'll be a production shakeup? Because 2024 saw like the new Paul Levesque, can't say Lee Fitton anymore, vision of Raw. And that settled into a steady format, which was here's people arriving at the start of the show, and then one of those, here's a long walking camera shot, which I think, I love it all. I love it all. Do they change that up for Netflix, or do you think it's a wholesale...
I think it's a wholesale move across.
Well, I have a different Raw logo.
Different Raw logo. There'll be a different theme. But I think, broadly speaking, the show will look more or less the same as it did before.
Not heard anything about a new set.
No. I think it will look like it did when it was on USA. In the tail end of its USA run, that's sort of a smaller set, not those huge, big LED Titantron that we used to have sort of like in the 2010s.
Which I love. I really like what it's come to
Me
look
too.
like. I think you probably need Paul Levesque's face on the canvas. Giant big printout. Half beard.
He doesn't want to be a focal point of the show, Ollie. I mean, okay, we're talking about like what's opening the show. Triple H is opening the show.
Oh my God, you're totally
He's
right.
100% opening the show. Started as a revolution, is now on Netflix. So, I have to ask you, are you ready?
I think black screen.
Make sure you press the thumbs up on because he gives like, I like this. Do you think we'll have that on the option as well? You know, when you finish the movie, it's like, did you like this? And it's for the algorithm.
What will it tell me to watch next?
Probably a pay-per-view, WrestleMania 40, I imagine.
The Mr. McMahon docuseries. I'm really going to look out for that. If anyone gets recommended Mr. McMahon, surely Netflix are going to go, okay, let's just override the algorithm rule on that one.
Just recommend WrestleMania 40. But yeah, Triple H is opening the show. What's your prediction for CM Punk versus Seth Rollins?
Because I predicted Solo to win, I don't think both Solo and Seth will win, unless that's a reasonable... You know what? I think it makes so much sense for Drew and Seth to team together. This is the first match. I'm going to have Seth win.
Nice.
And I'm going to add in a bit of Drew interference.
Drew interference. I think, talking about some other things we think will happen on the show, Rock is in a Cody segment. As opposed to anything Bloodline related, I think it's a Rock and Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes, he's out there. Nothing announced. He's just got the championship. Blah, blah, blah. This is the championship. KO. And then John Cena comes down. He's like, the fun speech. And he does his John Cena thing. And then, if you smell... And you sort of get the WrestleMania 30 Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, The Rock, 3. And they just all stand in there. But it's not just celebratory each other off. It's also, actually, John Cena last time he was in WWE said, like, whispered into Cody's ear. And the last time The Rock was in WWE, apart from the
Bad Blood one,
he whispered into Cody's ear. They have both lost in translation Cody Rhodes.
Do you reveal on this show what Rock handed Cody the last time they were in the ring together?
I think Cena comes out and he's like, last time I was in WWE, you said something to me on the entrance ramp, and what you said was, you'll wrestle me one day. And this is my last year. And just as he's about to do that, then The Rock said, I also had a
Whoa,
message.
whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. I like that. I really like that, actually. The three of them in the ring together, I think, is pretty good. And also, I'm very much on the train of, I think John Cena versus Cody Rhodes is a much better match to do than John Cena versus Logan Paul.
Oh, yes. So let me finish. Then The Rock's interrupted by Logan Paul coming in. I'm better than any of you guys. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone hits their finisher on him.
You can't have The Rock do it, though. He's supposed to be a heel.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's not really a heel, is he?
Is he not?
No, because he wants to get cheered too much.
Think of the vertical.
Yes.
The vertical he'll have.
Got a raging vertical for this segment.
I've got a red one. Anyway. So I think those are all of our predictions for this episode.
Well, you booked Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair returns, and AJ Lee.
And AJ Lee, which I think is more of the outside chance. I think Becky and Charlotte are pretty much like they're on. Like they are on the show.
Alexa Bliss, she's waiting to return, but mate, I would hold her for SmackDown. I mean, the other big thing is that the shake-up, the transfer portal, that will all be decided this week, I guess.
I wonder if they'll announce some. They'll definitely announce some of the moves on Raw, I guess.
I don't think it'll be a big deal. I think people will start to come out, and Joe Tessitore will go, "Oh, and he's on Raw now."
He's not doing the Raw commentary, is he? It's Michael Cole.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, Cole's doing Raw commentary. It'll be Raw and Pat McAfee doing the commentary.
Oh, I'm gonna miss Tessitore and Wade.
Me too.
Wade's sort of odd man out here.
I really enjoy them together on Raw. I've really enjoyed them together on Raw. So I'm going to miss them as a partnership as well.
Oh.
So yes, those are some of my predictions. Alexa Bliss, I would say for the Rumble.
Okay.
So a Rumble return.
That's a good point. You've got a pay-per-view design there for big returns and stuff.
Well, what do you think is going to happen on the Raw debut on Netflix? Let us know in the comments down below. And we will be here on Monday night doing live reactions. We're going to do a watch along to the Raw Netflix debut. So join us for that as well. And you can get your thoughts in while the show is going on. Until then, I've been Nicone DAD. That has been Ollie Davis. Jam that jam.
Ba-dum.